Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth and opportunities effortlessly, while others, just as talented, seem to struggle endlessly? What if I told you that the biggest difference isn't luck, background, or even hard work? It's mindset. The way we think, day in and day out, shapes the world we experience. Our thoughts are like seeds. Plant ideas of abundance and you'll grow a life of prosperity. Plant doubt and you'll harvest limits. Today I want to share with you how to train your brain to make more money, not through tricks or shortcuts, but by understanding the immense power of your own mind. Because once you change your thinking, you change your world, and when you train your mind to focus on wealth, opportunity, and growth, the results will follow. Let's dive in. You become what you think about most. One of the most powerful truths we can ever learn is this: we become what we think about. This isn't just a nice quote to put on a poster. It's a fundamental principle of how the human mind works. Whatever thoughts dominate your mind over time begin to shape your behavior, your decisions, and ultimately your outcomes. It may sound simple, but the implications are life-changing. Think about it for a moment. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, how can you expect to act with confidence, take bold steps, or seize financial opportunities? On the other hand, if your mind is focused on growth, on possibility, and on solutions rather than problems, your actions begin to reflect that optimism and clarity. The results you get in life, especially when it comes to making money, are a mirror of what's happening internally. We all have an inner dialogue running every single day. For most people, that inner voice isn't cheering them on. It's filled with worry about bills, fear of failure, and questions like, what if I'm not good enough? If we don't consciously choose what we think about, our minds will drift into worry by default. And worry is just a misuse of imagination. To train your brain for more income, you must first become aware of what thoughts are running on repeat. Are you thinking like someone who earns more, who creates value, who sees opportunities? Or are you stuck in patterns of scarcity, survival, and hesitation? The mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. If you continually imagine yourself as someone who is limited, that will become your reality. But if you begin to imagine yourself as someone who is capable, creative, and deserving of wealth, your behavior will start to change, even before your circumstances do. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So becoming someone who earns more starts with becoming someone who thinks differently. You don't need to have all the answers right away. What matters is starting the habit of feeding your mind with thoughts that align with the life you want to create. This means listening to empowering content, reading books that expand your perspective, and spending time reflecting on your goals. At first, this shift can feel unfamiliar, but just like training your body, training your mind takes repetition. The more you focus on abundance, the more your brain begins to filter your reality in a way that supports abundance. You'll notice ideas where you once saw blocks and possibilities where you once saw problems. It all starts with thought, because in the end, what we consistently think about, we move toward, whether we realize it or not. Set a clear goal and stick to it. One of the most overlooked habits of highly successful people, especially those who consistently earn more, is their ability to set a clear, definite goal and stay focused on it. It sounds basic, almost too simple, but most people drift through life without ever deciding exactly what they want. They may have wishes, hopes, or vague desires, but not a clear, written goal that acts as the compass for their daily actions. That one change alone can redefine your entire financial future. Setting a goal is more than writing down a number or saying, I want to make more money. That's not a goal. That's a wish. A true goal is specific, measurable, and meaningful. It's something that excites you, challenges you, and gives you direction. When your brain knows exactly what it's aiming for, it starts filtering the world around you differently. It begins to notice opportunities that align with your goal. That's the power of focus. What you focus on expands. Here's something most people don't realize. The brain is always working to bring your dominant thoughts into reality. But if you don't give it a clear instruction, if your goals change every week, or you keep doubting what you want, you confuse the system. Imagine trying to train a dog by changing the command every time you speak. That's what most people do with their goals. They start one thing, then second-guess it. They move in one direction, then quit halfway. The result, they never build momentum. When you commit to one clear financial goal, whether it's starting a business, reaching a specific income level, or creating a passive income stream, you give your brain something to work on every day. You activate your creative thinking. You start solving problems instead of avoiding them. And over time, you begin to align your habits, your learning, and your network with that outcome. It's important to choose a goal that means something to you, not just a number for the sake of it, but a target that reflects the lifestyle you want to create. Why? Because meaningful goals fuel persistence. When challenges come up, and they always do, you won't give up easily if you're emotionally connected to your goal. That connection is what keeps you going when results are slow or the path gets tough. And here's a key part that many overlook. Stick to the goal long enough for it to grow. Success takes time, and money rarely multiplies overnight. But with a focused goal and consistent effort, progress compounds. The people who seem to get lucky are often the ones who stayed committed longer than others. They kept showing up, kept refining their skills, and kept moving forward, even when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. That's what separates those who talk about success from those who achieve it. So, ask yourself, what is my financial goal? Not just a loose idea, but a clear written statement. What do I want to earn by when, and how will I work toward it? Review it every day. Read it out loud. Visualize yourself already there. The goal itself isn't just a destination. It becomes a tool for transformation. It shapes how you think, how you act, and how you train your brain to see the world. In the end, a trained mind with a clear goal is unstoppable. Give your brain a target, feed it with belief, and then follow through with consistent action. That's how wealth is built. Not all at once, but by thinking with purpose and living with direction. Use the power of visualization and affirmation. What separates those who dream about wealth from those who actually build it often comes down to one critical mental habit: the ability to consistently visualize success and affirm it as real long before it appears in physical form. Visualization and affirmation aren't just feel-good exercises. They're mental training tools, ones that top performers in every field use to program their minds for achievement. And when it comes to making more money, this mental rehearsal can be a complete game-changer. Let's start with visualization. Every great achievement begins as a picture in someone's mind. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it doesn't distinguish between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. That means when you visualize yourself achieving a financial goal, seeing the numbers, feeling the success, imagining the freedom, you are wiring your brain to believe it's possible. And belief is the foundation of action. The key to effective visualization isn't just about daydreaming. It's about creating a vivid, detailed mental movie where you see yourself already living the life you're building. You're not imagining someday. You're stepping into that reality now, in your mind. What does your life look like when you've reached your income goal? What are you doing? How do you feel? Who are you with? Where are you working or not working? The more specific you can get, the more powerful this practice becomes. Over time, this repetition starts shifting your identity. You begin to feel more aligned with the version of yourself who has already achieved those things. And when your identity changes, so do your behaviors. You start making decisions like someone who earns more, creates more, and values their time more. It's not magic. It's mental alignment. Alongside visualization is the practice of affirmation. This is about reinforcing your beliefs through spoken words. statements that you repeat regularly to affirm the mindset you want to live by. At first, these may feel uncomfortable or even untrue, but affirmations are not about pretending. They are about conditioning your mind to accept a new reality as possible, even before it's visible. For example, instead of saying, "I hope I make more money," you might affirm, "I am creating new income every day through my ideas and actions." That shift in language changes everything. It moves you from a passive place of hoping to an active place of creating. When repeated consistently, affirmations begin to drown out the noise of doubt and replace it with confidence. They keep your mind centered on growth and possibility, especially during moments when fear or frustration try to take over. The most successful people in the world use these tools daily. Athletes visualize winning the game before they ever step on the field. Entrepreneurs visualize deals closing before the pitch. Speakers visualize standing ovations before they step on stage. Why? Because the mind needs rehearsal just like the body does. You wouldn't walk into a gym once and expect instant results. Mental conditioning is the same. It works through daily repetition. To make this work in your own life, set aside time each morning or evening, even just 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes and visualize your success. Speak your affirmations with energy and belief. Write them down. Post them where you'll see them. The goal is not to wish for money. It's to train your brain to expect it, to attract it, and to act in alignment with it. By doing this consistently, you begin to bridge the gap between who you are now and who you're becoming. And that's where transformation happens. Not all at once, but day by day, image by image, word by word. Visualize it, affirm it, then take action like it's already yours. Guard your mind like a treasure. Your mind is your most valuable asset, more valuable than any degree, contact list, or opportunity you may come across. Every great change in your life, including financial growth, begins in your mind. That's why one of the most important habits you can build is learning to protect it. To guard your mind means being intentional about what you allow in and what you allow to stay. Because just like fertile soil will grow weeds if left unattended, your mind will absorb whatever it's exposed to most consistently, whether helpful or harmful. Most people don't realize how much mental clutter they carry on a daily basis. From negative news to social media comparisons to casual conversations filled with doubt and limitation, the mind is constantly being shaped by what it hears and sees. Over time, this shapes your self-position, your beliefs about money, and your sense of what's possible. If you're not careful, the world will plant seeds of fear, scarcity, and self-doubt before you even realize it. Think of your mind like a garden. You wouldn't plant flowers and then leave the gate open for animals to trample them. You'd protect it, water it, and make sure only what you want to grow has space to grow. Training your brain to make more money works the same way. You need to become selective about what you expose your thoughts to. If you let small thinking in, small results will follow. If you feed your mind with wealth-building ideas, stories of success, and uplifting messages, you'll start to naturally think in ways that support growth. This is especially important when you're working toward a big financial goal. Doubt is sneaky. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. A casual comment like, "Money is hard to come by," or "People like us don't make that kind of money," can settle deep into your subconscious if you're not paying attention. The more you hear something, even if it's not true, the more likely you are to believe it. That's how beliefs are formed, through repetition, not truth. To guard your mind, you need to become proactive. Start by being intentional with what you listen to, read, and watch. Make personal development a daily habit. Choose content that lifts you up and reminds you of what's possible. Listen to audiobooks, podcasts, or speeches that focus on wealth mindset, creativity, and problem solving. Read biographies of people who came from nothing and built something incredible. Surround yourself with people who think bigger, not people who shoot down every idea or talk only about limitations. You also need to protect your mind from your own internal negativity. We all have moments of fear or frustration. That's normal, but the key is not to let those thoughts take root. Learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never figure this out," pause. Replace it with a better thought. I'm learning every day and I'm getting closer. It might feel forced at first, but over time this becomes your new mental habit. Guarding your mind isn't about living in a bubble or ignoring reality. It's about choosing to focus on the kind of reality you want to create. If you constantly feed your mind with thoughts of lack, you'll find more lack. But if you feed it with ideas of abundance, creativity, and opportunity, you'll start seeing those things more often. In a world full of noise, the person who protects their focus and chooses their thoughts carefully has a powerful advantage. When your mind is clean, clear, and focused, making more money stops being a distant wish and starts becoming the natural result of how you think. Act with faith and persistence. There's a turning point in every success story, a moment when belief is tested, when results aren't immediate, and when continuing feels harder than quitting. This is the moment where most people stop. But those who go on to achieve greater levels of income, impact, and independence are the ones who understand a deeper truth. Success doesn't come from intensity alone. It comes from faith and persistence working together. Over time. Faith is often misunderstood. It's not just hope, and it's certainly not blind optimism. Faith is the quiet, steady belief that your goals are possible, even when you can't see the evidence yet. It's trusting that the steps you're taking are building something meaningful, even if today looks exactly like yesterday. Faith is what keeps the fire alive when there's no applause, no paycheck, and no visible breakthrough. But faith alone is not enough. It must be paired with persistent action, the kind that's consistent, deliberate, and focused. It's easy to take action when you're feeling motivated. It's easy to start a new idea when it's exciting. But what happens when that excitement fades? That's when persistence becomes the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Persistence is not about pushing harder. It's about showing up smarter. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when no one's watching. It's about sticking to the plan you created when you were clear-headed, instead of changing direction every time doubt creeps in. Wealth rarely comes from a single big leap. More often it's the result of hundreds of small steps, repeated consistently, refined as you learn, and driven by a belief that the process works. This is especially true when it comes to building financial success. Whether your goal is to increase your income, grow a business, or invest in long-term wealth, you're going to face setbacks. You'll launch products that don't sell, make investments that don't return, or have days where you feel like nothing is working. That's part of the journey, not a sign to stop, but a signal to adjust and grow. Most people quit too early, not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't stay long enough for momentum to build. They stopped watering the seed before it had time to sprout. The truth is, the process of earning more money is often invisible at first. You're building skills, relationships, mindset shifts, all beneath the surface. Then, suddenly, things start clicking. Opportunities appear. People take notice. Money begins to flow in. But that sudden success only comes to those who were patient and consistent when things were quiet. And this is where faith becomes your anchor. When you train your brain to believe in the value of your effort, even when it's not yet rewarded, you build resilience. You don't need to fake positivity or pretend everything is perfect. You simply keep going. You work the plan. You trust that learning, discipline, and time will pay off. And you remind yourself no one sees the roots growing before the tree breaks through the soil. So how do you cultivate this mindset in practical terms? First, commit to a long-term vision. Don't just chase the next quick win. Know where you want to be in 1, 3, or 5 years. Then reverse engineer the habits and actions that will get you there. Write them down. Schedule them. Make them non-negotiable, even when they're boring or hard. Second, track your progress, not just in dollars, but in growth. Are you learning new skills, building better habits, connecting with people who inspire you? Celebrate the internal wins. Money is often the last piece to show up. The internal transformation always comes first. Third, surround yourself with a mindset that supports persistence. Listen to content that encourages consistency and discipline. Read stories of people who failed many times before they succeeded. Fill your environment with reminders that success is built, not stumbled upon. And finally, don't confuse a slow start with a bad strategy. Some of the most successful people in the world spent years building quietly. They weren't chasing instant gratification. They were laying a foundation. They were preparing themselves to handle more, to earn more, and to lead more. You are in that same process. Trust it. One powerful way to strengthen your persistence is to reconnect regularly with your why. Why do you want to earn more money? What will it allow you to do, experience, or contribute? When your reason is strong enough, no temporary setback can stop you. Your why is your fuel. It gives meaning to the repetition, the long nights, the slow climbs. Faith us, this is working even if I can't see it yet. Persistence says, I'll keep going no matter how long it takes. Together they create unstoppable momentum. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the smartest. But if you can train your brain to believe in your future and to keep moving, especially when it's not easy, you'll outlast, outgrow, and outperform nearly everyone around you. In a world that worships instant results, the ability to stay the course has become rare and incredibly valuable. So protect your vision, stay consistent, let your actions speak louder than your doubts. The money will come, the opportunities will multiply, but only if you do.